Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of my F1 23 MyTeam career mode. This is the final episode of Season 1 and it is the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. If you did miss the last race around Vegas, it was a pretty good race in the end for Sergio Perez claiming the victory. But due to the unfortunate events for Max Verstappen during the race, it wasn't enough points for them to secure the Constructors just yet. So that battle still continues on into the final race of the season. And for ourselves, Vegas was an absolute shocking race for ourselves, finishing P21 in the end. As we now take a look at the performance review just for the last time this season. And at the top, it is McLaren, who are currently the top team on the grid at the moment. So I wonder if they can have a good race here in Abu Dhabi. But for ourselves, we can see there that our performance has still been straight lined, as we're still trying to save up and bulk up our R&D points and try and save all of the upgrades we've already done this season for those regulation changes. So we're kind of sacrificing the back end of this season to make sure that next season it will be as good of a start as we can possibly get. And then for at the top, you saw that it's also very close between about the top 5 to 6 teams, as we're getting prepped to now head into our first practice program, and it's going to be the race strategy program. It's taken us a couple of laps to get up to speed, but we eventually got up to speed. I've always struggled around this circuit. It's definitely not one of my strong circuits, so usually it takes me a while to get up to speed. It's I don't know what it is, it just doesn't click with me. It takes me a while to get up to speed as we now head to the end of our next practice program, and it is a purple finish in the end, so good to get that one done and out of the way. And this is a rarity. Our qualifying pace is actually looking like it's going to be pretty good. It was 3/10 in the green, but we've ended up finishing in the red, which is a bit strange. And then we end up finishing P8 there, and Carlos Sainz was fastest in the opening practice session. As now we get ourselves prepped to go into qualifying. So I'm a little lost. I don't know where we should be in the qualifying, because as you saw in that practice program, we were in the green. We were 3/10 in the green to where we were expected to finish, but apparently that was still only good enough for P22 in the end. So as we finish our first flying lap, it's going to put us P3 at the moment. We're behind the McLaren and the Red Bull at the minute, as we get a massive snap of oversteer going on, like finishing our next lap. And it was a purple final sector, so there's definitely pace there. I just need to kind of string it all together and try and make it all work in the one same lap, as our final lap of the session puts us P9, but we end up dropping down to P13, so narrowly make it through into Q2, but we'll take it. And unfortunately for Iwasa, he's qualified last, so hopefully he can make something work in the race, but we'll have to continue, put our focus back to ourselves at the moment. So Leclerc sets the fastest lap of the session at the moment, and we're about to finish our first lap here in Q2. A little bit too much exit curb, so it's unsettled the car going down onto the main straight, but it's P10 for the moment, and we've improved once again. But coming out the last corner, it wasn't a great run. Now, so we've improved once again, but we're still P16, so we have to put in a mega lap here, and we're currently 6/10 up. And can we make it 7/10? We've made it 7/10. It's nearly going to be 8/10 up on our best lap, and it's going to be P10. But we'll have to make sure that we can try and stay P10. And as here, we're going to be playing some slipstream games here. This track's got two very large straights where you can try and get a good slipstream. But unfortunately, we couldn't make those little games with Oscar Piastri work, as we run wide and we've hit the wall at turn 14. So that's a bit of a shame there to end our session. I don't think we'll ever go into and be improving, because we dropped down the P14 before we had the crash, and we were about 4/10 down on our best lap.
It's time then for one final race in this year's Formula One World Championship. 2010 saw 4 drivers in contention for the title coming into this race, with Sebastian Vettel prevailing to become the youngest world champion to date. Is there one last sting in the tail awaiting us today? Well, it's time to find out here at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The Yas Marina circuit is made up of 3.28 miles of track, featuring 16 corners with 2 very long straights. DRS zones going into the heavy braking zones of both turn 5 and turn 7 offer plenty of potential for overtaking. The circuit comes with its fair share of tricky corners, which will certainly test a driver's braking management. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position. just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Perez, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Ocon, Albon, Stroll, the Rainmaster, Norris, Hulkenberg, Verstappen, Tsunoda, Sainz, Sargent, Oscar Piastri, Bottas, De Vries, Iwasa, Joe, and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Now, can I get your take on Max Verstappen? They've had a fantastic campaign, a wonderful year, and they come into this weekend's Grand Prix as a fully deserving champion.
I agree it's been a truly impressive season, but championship or no, I don't think they'll be gently cruising around to the finish line. In fact, with points no longer a concern, there's a lot less to risk, so we may even see a more aggressive approach.
It's been a long, hard season. We're almost at the end, but we cannot switch off until after that checkered flag today. Let's try and end today's race on a high note.
Very inspiring words from Mark as we're sitting on the grid for our final race of the season. We're going to start on the mediums, and we're going to try and extend the stint on the mediums just a little bit. I think it originally wanted me to pit on like lap 12 or something, but we've extended it by a couple of laps just to make that hard tyre stint hopefully a bit quicker for ourselves, so we can just push a bit harder on that hard tyre, since this MyTeam car absolutely loves the hard tyre. So I don't know what it is, it's just go-to. It's so much faster than the medium tyre. So hopefully we can just hang on during this medium tyre stint and then make up all of our positions on that hard tyre stint, as we're going to now try and pull into the grid slot for one last time this season. We're going to try and not fail it. It's 0.3 of a metre back, so we played it a little bit safe, but ultimately we did not fail and get set back all that way, as now the lights are illuminating and they have gone out and it's away we go. We get a pretty good start. We immediately make the position up on Lance Stroll, as now we're going to be trying to go down the inside of Ocon as well, but he kind of pinched us a little bit onto the apex, so I didn't really want to make a really stupid move and try and get damage on the opening lap. And immediately, that's Mark telling us that we've got engine issues, and if you look down in that bottom right corner, I didn't even notice that, our engine is already bright red, so hopefully we can make it to the end of the race. In Vegas last episode, I reckon I did probably about the last 10 laps or so on the race on an engine that worn, and didn't seem to have any issues, so hopefully we can make it a nearly essentially just a 30 lap stint. There's the yellow flag behind us, but I reckon that's just all the cars bunching up in the game just reckoning they're going a bit too slow, so hopefully there was no issues behind us, as now we look further ahead, and this is Pierre Gasly trying to get by Alex Albon. I didn't even take note. Albon's done a fantastic job. He's qualified himself inside the top 10, so hopefully he can maintain his position there to get some points for the Williams outfit, and I'm sure they would love to get some points. As behind us, we're going 3 wide, it looks like, with the McLaren of Lando Norris and the Aston Martin of Stroll, but we're going to be watching this battle here with Fernando Alonso and Sergio Perez. Perez, I would be sure, would be loving to get around Fernando Alonso right now to see if he can't chase down Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. It's currently a Mercedes 1-2, so Mercedes have pulled out a heap of pace in this last race of the season, which I'm sure they would have been wanting to know where that's been, as we gained so much time under the brakes going into the chicane of turn 6. And hopefully we're going to be able to try and at least get one of the Alpines. Ocon, he nearly takes the front of our car out as he swerves across the track to try and get to the outside of Pierre Gasly. So we're going to send the car down deep, and we're going to try and get a tighter line and try and get on the power earlier to try and get by Ocon. But we can't do it. Ocon actually gets a much better run, and he's going to be going down the inside of Pierre Gasly. So while the gap's there, the gap closed at the last seconds, we make a little bit of contact while we get the move done on Pierre Gasly. And now looking forward to the next lap. This is lap 4. Albon's trying to get by Perez, and we're going to be trying to get by Ocon, so it's going to be 2x2 going into the turn 6 chicane. We go around the outside of Ocon, and it looks like Albon has successfully made it past Perez, but Perez will now have the DRS on Albon, so we'll have to see if Sergio can get back by the tyre driver of Alex Albon, and looking back at ourselves, he very much does up ahead of us and we get very close to the back of Albon as well, so we're showing to have quite a lot of pace going through that turn 9 sweeper. That's new from 2021, if you do remember. That was when they made the track changes, as now we've caught in that braking zone. We just gained so much space, and I actually reckon we gave Sergio a slight tap. I wasn't really enough to cause any dramas whatsoever. So now we're in the slipstream. Sergio Perez is going to be trying to go around the outside of Alex Albon. He'll get it done before we even make it to the corner. So we're going to send it up the inside of Albon, try and catch him napping a little bit, because he was still on a defensive line from Perez and probably not expecting us to send it down the inside. So a very opportunistic move. But now, coming out of turn 4, we just have no pace in going up between turns 4 and 5. So that we're constantly having to defend into turn 5, because the AI gets such a better run leaving turn 3 going to turn 4. As now with the power of DRS, we're going to be attempting to make a move on Sergio Perez here, but based on those proximity arrows, we're going. I would imagine that was nearly 3 wide for a moment there, going into turn 6. But we managed to maintain the position over Perez, and I reckon he got pinched on the exit, because we ended up not losing the position to him on the exit. But now 3 wide, they're going 3 wide once again. This is Ocon trying to make the double overtake on both Albon and Perez. So Perez seems to have started losing this pace. He made up a few positions at the start of the race, but is now very quickly falling back down the field. As look at this pack, 5 cars all very close together. Gasly's making a move around the outside of Albon, so I feel like anyone here is really in danger, as it's now a 6-car train with Gasly still trying to get past Albon, and does eventually get it done into turn 12. As now we look at ourselves, and we've now got smoke coming out of the rear. It's only lap 8, so I'm not sure if we can actually make it. Hey, look, yeah, just a quick sidebar here. I may have made a mistake while setting up this championship. So in the settings, I may have forgotten to turn on the fault frequency. So essentially in this game, it's currently impossible for me to have an engine failure. It's now lap 9, and this is Sergio Perez. He is under attack now from the Alpine of Pierre Gasly. So essentially, just as we've seen at many of tracks so far this season, if you're at the front of the DRS change, you are essentially a sitting duck. But now, a unique thing about this circuit is the second DRS straight. So Sergio Perez should be able to make the move back. As we just quickly have a look there at the replay, that was just Joe. So that's the reason why he's had a DNF. He's also had an engine failure at the last race of the season. So that looks like the engine that they had in the back of the Alfa Romeo just couldn't last that one more race. But now this is a change for the lead. That's George Russell. He just got by his teammate Lewis Hamilton. So the Mercedes are switching the cars around. I think Hamilton would be pretty disappointed with that, considering that he's trying to get P2 in the championship. So I would imagine he's pretty filthy at that at the moment, as now Ocon gets back by us. So it looks like that Alpine's genuinely got quite a bit of pace, but I do think our cars are not good enough for P6 at the moment. I currently feel absolutely terrible around this circuit. So the fact that we're even considering points at the moment is a lot better than I was expecting. As now Stroll, he's managed to get by Sergio Perez. So Perez is currently outside of the points, but he's going to, on this second DRS straight, going to very easily make the move back into P10. So at the moment, it looks like the Red Bulls are struggling to even make it into the points. As now Ocon makes a mistake going into turn 16, so we make the move up the inside, and he's made contact with us, and we've now suffered a bit of side pod damage. So could this? Oh, it's underbody damage. So could this possibly now make the car much more unstable? It's already not feeling fantastic. So could this damage pretty much be the turning factor, whether if our pace, the hard tyre stint especially, because if a car's not feeling great on the mediums, I would imagine that the car's probably not going to be feeling fantastic on that hard tyre either, even though it's generally quicker. As now Lewis Hamilton, he's jumped into the pit lane, and a few cars have actually, as well as ourselves. We're going to follow Esteban Ocon into the pit lane, so time to see if we can't make anything work in the pits here, as we kind of give Alex Albon a bit of a smoke screen. So good luck finding your pit box, mate. But anyways, as we now head down the lane, we're going to be looking to go onto our hard tyres now and try and see if we can't make anything out of this stint. And remember, as I said at the start of the episode, the hard tyre is definitely our preferred tyre, as we actually get held up a little bit. So we had a very good pit stop, and could have jumped someone, but we didn't quite get enough of a gain to actually be able to get out, so we had to wait for them to go by us. Now the battle between Stroll and Perez continues on. Stroll's back in front of Sergio Perez, but once again, Perez is going to get this second dose of DRS, so he's going to be able to make the move back past the Canadian driver. So hopefully they're not holding up each other too much where they could possibly lose too much time to the other guys around them, especially considering they're staying out longer. As Iwasa's just giving us a bit of a squeeze going down the main straight, so a bit dirty there from our teammate. He is currently P9, so he's in the points at the moment as well as ourselves, so it's a double points scoring opportunity at the moment for ourselves, but Iwasa's yet to make his pit stop, so he would definitely be falling down the order, but yeah, definitely not what we needed from our teammate to be holding us up like this, as now Alex Albon is going to be side by side with us. He's going to get the slipstream and the DRS from Iwasa, so he should be able to make the overtake on both Brabham cars down here on the same main straight. So he's definitely taking very opportunistic moves, as we're going to be once again stuck behind Iwasa. He's going to take a bit too much curb and he's going to unsettle the car, so we're going to be trying to go around the outside, and he gives us a squeeze nearly into the wall on the exit, and he's going to continue to squeeze us as we try to rejoin. So Iwasa, for whatever reason, is definitely not happy with us at the moment, and he's trying to just make life so much difficult, so we're just going to have to send an absolute dirty dive bomb down the inside of him at turn 9, this fast sweeper, and we make the move stick, and we're going to immediately just start driving away from him. We cannot afford to be behind him for any longer, as that was George Russell making the move on Charles Leclerc to get himself back up into second position. And Lewis Hamilton has actually retaken the lead by pitting that one lap earlier, so he's going to be very thankful for that, considering he's still trying to get P2 in the championship. As this is Lando Norris, he's going to be trying to get past the Alfa Romeo Valtteri Bottas. Bottas is doing very well as well to get himself into the points at the moment, but I would imagine he's going to be falling down the order quite dramatically, and even with this second dose of DRS, I'm not sure if Valtteri Bottas is going to be able to make the move back again. He's going to pull out, but we cut just in time to watch the two Alpines battling together, but Valtteri Bottas did not manage to make the move on the McLaren as we're heading back to ourselves now. It's lap 18, we've skipped a few laps, but we're under attack now from Max Verstappen. He's going to be trying to take the last points paid position from us. So it's not looking great for us at the moment to try and get points on the last race of this season. But using the power of the DRS, we're going to be trying to make the move back on Max Verstappen. So hopefully we can just play this game to the end of the race. I don't think we're going to be under attack from Stroll too much. I don't think he's going to really have the pace to be trying to catch up to us, as we do make the overtake very, very nicely actually on Max Verstappen. But just as Stroll's found before many times so far this race, the power of that DRS is so strong on the Red Bull, so we were just a sitting duck, so we have to let Max Verstappen go by. And as you can see there on the totem pole, we've actually made up a couple of positions because more people have gone into the pit, so we're both currently in the points now, as we're doing a quick order check here. So it's Hamilton, Russell, Mercedes 1-2, Charles Leclerc also on the podium, Alonso, Norris, Gasly, Albon, Ocon, Verstappen, and ourselves in P10 at the moment. Stroll, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, and Magnussen are going 3 wide into the turn 6 chicane. The two Hasses and an AlphaTauri. How did they go through there with not making any contact? Yuki Tsunoda ends up coming out on top in P12. Sergio Perez P15, so he's been really struggling. He was doing really well in the points for a while, but he's just dropped off. Piastri, Sainz, Bottas, Sargent, our teammate Iwasa in P20, De Vries, and then Zhou in P20, so he's the only non-finisher so far this race, as now it's lap 20. Max Verstappen has caught up and overtaken Esteban Ocon, so now we're going to be looking to try and follow Max Verstappen through as well. We've been kind of using Max Verstappen's DRS to kind of carry us along, and as I said, I didn't think Lance Stroll was going to have the pace to catch up to us and overtake us. He's caught up to us. He's now within our DRS. As Ocon's now trying to force the issue on Max Verstappen. He's going to get hung out wide by the Dutchman, so we're going to make the move off the inside. So thank you very much, Max Verstappen, for helping us do that. But Ocon's going to get a much better run, so we're going to back out of it, release the brake, and then send it back down the inside. A very nice dive bomb there from ourselves going into turn 12 that is, as now this is Stroll. He's getting by Ocon as well, so maybe Ocon's got a small issue as we kind of engulf him in a bit of a smoke stream. So by now, I would imagine we definitely should have retired the race, but I'm going to take advantage of this small mishap I had in the settings at the moment, as Stroll does end up getting back by us. So I don't mind being proved wrong every now and again, but it didn't sit nice being overtaken by the Aston Martin of Stroll, as now the battle for the lead is continuing on. This is George Russell now trying to get by Lewis Hamilton, and it looks like he's going to get it done pretty successfully in the end, but Hamilton's going to stick it around the outside. He's just kept his nose there, and I would imagine he's also going to be getting DRS as well. And with DRS open, Lewis Hamilton is going to make a pretty easy move, and if I was Mercedes, I would be telling him to stop battling because Hamilton needs all the points he can get to help secure P2 in the championship. And now, going on a couple of laps later, George Russell is making the move once again. So I wonder if, just because it's the last race of the season, they're pretty much just telling their drivers, don't hit each other, but you can race. Because if I was Toto Wolff, I'll definitely be telling Russell just to sit tight in P2 for the moment. As now back to our POV, we're now under attack from Ocon, so Ocon's not going to let this last points paying position go very easily as he goes flying past that Alpine in a straight line. Sometimes it's just absolutely unbelievable. He just went by as if we were standing still, but now we should have the DRS to try and help get back past Esteban Ocon. But this battling has now brought Magnussen into this. He's now 1.5 seconds behind us, so give it a lap or two, and he's going to be within DRS, I reckon, as we send it around the outside of turn 9 of the Frenchman and make a pretty nice move, and hopefully he won't be able to have the run to send another dive bomb on us. Thankfully he doesn't, so we're just going to get overtaken once again in the DRS zone. And look, literally the next lap, Kevin Magnussen, he's there and he's overtaken us as well. So in these last 3.5 laps, we're going to be having to work really hard to try and get past both Magnussen and Ocon to try and make sure we can try and get ourselves one last points paying position. As now looking further a little bit along the lap, we're going to go for a spin on the exit of turn 14. We don't make any contact with the wall, but this has now absolutely thrown our chances of getting a points paying position, as we had to wait there for the McLaren and Red Bull of Piastri and Perez to go through. So absolute shocking mistake for us to drop ourselves so far back as well. And then we ended up just dropping like flies down through the field. So now we're currently P17 behind the Alfa Romeo of Valtteri Bottas. As now this battle for the final points paying position is now a 3-car battle, and then it looks like they're going to be trying to go 3 wide into turn 6 once again. But Ocon very smartly is going to be backing out of this, because Yuki Tsunoda might be playing a small bit of a desperate game here as he tried to make it 3 wide, and he's not going to be able to get past Magnussen, but he did manage to get past Ocon, so he's made himself one move further, closer to the point. So he's currently P11. He's trying to make a move on Kevin Magnussen, but Magnussen is going to give him a massive squeeze going down the back straight, heading towards turn 9. But Tsunoda, he's just going to drive around the outside of Kevin Magnussen. So excellent move there from the Japanese driver. So hopefully, if it was a move like that claimed him his points, I would very happily let Yuki Tsunoda claim those points, as Alex Albon makes a very bad mistake, and which I let Max Verstappen go through. But it's going to be George Russell who wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So Lewis Hamilton probably wishes that he did get the win, and they're actually going to crash after the flag. Lewis Hamilton has crashed after the flag into his teammate. So absolute disaster at the end of the Grand Prix, and definitely not the way Lewis Hamilton would have wanted his season to end. I wonder if he just got distracted with his dash and just didn't see George Russell slow there. But that's a very strange crash to have after the flag. So yeah, very unexpected way to end the season. Kevin Magnussen gets driver of the day. He did a very good job in the end.
Win here as we wrap up another fantastic Formula One season. Well, Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today, but what set them apart from the rest?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take the top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
So George Russell gets the final victory of the season, but it is Max Verstappen who does win the war in the end, claiming that championship. And this victory also puts George Russell equal 59th in the overall race wins standings as well. So a very good win in the end from George Russell to claim his 3rd ever a race victory in Formula One, as the celebrations will be going on late into the night, with Charles Leclerc also up there on the podium with the 2 Mercedes. And so Alonso, Norris, Gasly, Verstappen, Albon, Stroll, and Yuki Tsunoda does end up claiming those final points paying positions as well. Ourselves had a pretty shocking race in the end, all the way down there in P17. Max Verstappen, world champion once again, and ourselves P9 in the championship. Red Bull do claim the Constructors' Championship by only 12 points, and Ferrari claimed 2nd place as they claimed the first victory over Mercedes in the season, even though they're tied, and Brabham ended up finishing P6. in the Constructors Championship, so not too shabby, pretty much smack bang in the middle of the midfield. So a very good opening season, I do believe, for ourselves. And we did, remember, claim the victory in Monaco as well. So to claim and brace win is definitely more I could have ever asked for in this opening season of our My Team series. And I am going to leave it all waiting now for Season 2, Episode 1, everything for the next season. It will be explained in the first episode. I'll do what I did again, like in this season, how pre-season and the first race of the season will kind of be the one episode. So everything pre-season, make sure to watch next episode, Season 2, Episode 1, and to also watch the opening Grand Prix of Season 2. Make sure to check out the next episode as well, and that will be all for the first season of F1 23 My Team. I am Stormlad, and thank you for watching this opening season. I'll see you soon in Season 2. See ya.